Gwen from My Spiritual Butterfly. I wanted to talk to you today about anxiety. It's something that a lot of us suffer from every now and again, and anxiety is that sort of extreme case of worrying thoughts. But it's more the physiological changes that happen in our body as a result of this kind of consciously thinking about the negative and negative expectations. So I wanted to share some tools that you could use pretty quickly to actually break that cycle of thought. When we're feeling anxious, as you know, you're putting your body into fight or flight. So your body's releasing adrenaline, it's releasing cortisol, and it's basically putting every cell in emergency mode. Stop, hold, don't thrive, don't heal, just stop. We're in protection mode, emergency mode. So it's not great for the body. The other physiological things that happen, your heart rate will start to race, blood pressure rises, your body doesn't fight infection because there's no time to actually fight infection. It wants to use all of its energy, all of its resources towards getting you out of this danger. You're in fight or flight. So it moves all the blood to your arms and your legs so that you can run away or fight. So there's no time to sit there and fight an infection. There's no time to digest your food properly even. All the energy from the middle of your body just goes out to your extremities. The other thing that happens is that we become a little bit less intelligent. The blood from the front of our brain moves to the back of the brain. The back of the brain is all about that kind of fear response, that kind of impulsive response where you can actually make an impulsive decision, run away, get away. There's no time to sit and contemplate the future or start creating or come up with ideas. It's not about that. You've just got to get out of this situation. So when we're in a phase of anxiety, you can see it's really not good for us. It's not good for our body. And being in that state for a prolonged period of time will cause disease in the body, will cause the cells to mutate, die even. So we need to have really quick ways to sort of get ourselves out of that, as I said, and break the cycle. So that's what we're going to do today. So my first tool to share with you is called the whole brain posture. And this posture was developed by Brain Gym in the 1980s. And it's really, really simple to do. But what it's doing is it's getting both sides of your brain engaged, working together in harmony, in coherence. So your body starts to calm down when that's happening. And the position is basically you're crossing, if you can see my hands here, crossing your wrists over, facing your palms together and interlacing your fingers. And you can rest that in your lap, or you can bring that up to your heart if you like. And at the same time, you're crossing your ankles over as well. So you've literally crossed your body over. If you have this central line, this central meridian of energy running down your body, where we're crossing over the body, the right side of the brain deals with what's going on the left side of the body and vice versa. So when we cross over, we're getting both sides of our brain to work in harmony, work together. And when you're in that position, this whole brain posture, your body can't remain in a stressed state for longer than 5 minutes. Yeah, so it starts to calm down. The thoughts start to become a bit more soothed. You combine that maybe with a slower breath. We will be looking at breathing in the next video, but you combine that with just a slower breath, which also tells your body that, you know, okay, you're starting to relax a little bit now. Let's slow these thoughts down. Let's stop the fight or flight reaction response, and let's just send a signal to all the cells that we're safe now, we're okay now. So that's a really simple position. And I like it because you can put yourself in this position even if you're out in public, in terms of if you're sitting in a meeting or an interview or something like that. It just really calms you down. It's also nice if you meditated in this position. I do it now and again. You just feel everything a little bit more deeply, so it's quite nice. So that's the first position. The second position carries on from the crossing over the body, as we said, to get both sides of the brain working and crossing over our energies. And this is something we do part of at the beginning of a Reiki session and an end of a Reiki session to kind of ground us, get us in the present moment, you know, get everything sort of firing the way they should, but also calming our energies down, because we're focusing our attention on our body, getting ourselves out of our head into our body. And the move is basically this. I'm starting at my left shoulder. There's my cat. And coming down to my right hip. He knows what he's doing. Yeah. So, and this is what I'm doing. And I'm just going to repeat this, stroking down the body to my hip. Stroking down. A firmish action. You don't obviously want to hurt yourself, but it's fairly firm. It's not too light. And at the same time, maybe slowing down my breathing, taking some deep breaths, but just stroking across the body, getting the energies to start crossing over, flowing. But notice I'm doing it in a downward motion, which means I'm taking the energy away from the head a little bit so the head can start to calm down, our brain can start to calm down. Yeah, and when you stop that, you feel the vibration in your body of that. It makes you very kind of more aware, more grounded, and as I said, it brings you into your body, takes you out of your head. So that's a nice one to do. Again, it might be difficult to do that one in public, but at least you can do it, and it's super, super quick to do. The other thing we can do, I talked about your brain, the energy moving from the front of your head to the back of the head. So to address that, what you can do is place one hand on the forehead, one on the back of your head. So then you're starting to balance your frontal lobe with the back of your brain, and just get, again, some more harmony, some coherence going on there. This, again, is another Reiki position. If you've ever had a Reiki treatment, you will notice this is quite familiar. But just doing this starts to calm your thoughts down, calms your body down. You become more aware of your hands. You're kind of becoming more bodily focused. You're moving out of the center of yourself, away from your thoughts. And it just starts to calm you down. Again, combining it with a slower breath, maybe a deeper breath, really is helpful as well. So I'm just sort of doing that and relaxing a little bit more. All depends on how strong your arm muscles are as to how long you can hold this position for. But you know, our hands are electromagnetic. Whether you're doing Reiki or not, you know, this is, you know, a fact. Our hands are electromagnetic, our whole body is, in fact. So we're getting some nice calming signals going from one hand to the other, starting to get the front of the brain working with the back of the brain. And if you want to, you can also place the hands on the side of the head so you can get both hemispheres of the brain calming down and working together again as well. So in the last video, we were very much getting physical. We were looking at physical ways to bring ourselves out of our head into our body. We're crossing over the body, so we've got both sides of the brain working together, working in coherence and harmony. This week I want to look at breathing. I mentioned it in the last video as well. The importance of slowing down your breath or starting to control your breath. Literally fools your brain into thinking that you're okay, you're calm. Otherwise, why would you be slowing down your breathing? Why would you be breathing in this deliberate way? So it's a really quick way to calm yourself down in the moment. Doesn't matter if you do it in public, at home, you know, because it's just breathing. You can do it anywhere, anytime. And you want to kind of capture it as soon as possible. As soon as you start to feel your heart sort of raising, your heart rate kind of raising, you know, you feel the thoughts starting to spiral a little bit, then just try one of these breathing techniques that I'm going to share with you now and just see which one resonates. But it's all about taking your mind off your thoughts and focusing on something else, focusing on something which doesn't have much meaning to it. You can't attach any meaning to it or go off at a tangent. You're just trying to really focus on your breath, and a lot of them involve counting as well. So the first one I want to look at is called square breathing. And square breathing is really easy to do. All we're going to be doing is breathing in for a certain count, holding for a certain count, the same count, breathing out for the same count, holding for the same count, breathing in for the same count. So you can see how it makes that kind of square. I get myself confused there. But that's all we want to do. So literally you might say, we're going to do a count of 4. So we would breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4. And you're just repeating that. But the counting is really good because, again, as I said, that's taking you away from your thoughts, and that will sort of taking you off that kind of treadmill or that kind of wheel of thoughts, and getting you to focus on something else. And it's something which doesn't have too much meaning. It's just numbers counting. You're focusing on your breath. You're controlling your breathing. So you're starting to build some rhythm into your breathing, which makes your heart and your brain kind of match in terms of vibration, in terms of rhythm. And you really do start to calm down. So that's square breathing. That was breathing exercise number 1. The second breath I want to look at is rhythmic breathing. So similar to square breathing, but we're not breathing in this kind of even way. What we're doing is we're breathing for a certain count in and then breathing out for a longer count. That longer breath out is a really huge signal to the brain that things have calmed down. It's almost like, you know, when we're relieved about something, we take that long sigh of relief, right? And when we're scared of something, we take that sharp intake of breath. So having that longer breath out sends a huge signal, as I said, to the brain and the body that, hey, you're calm now, you're okay. Let's just stop sending out the adrenaline and the cortisol now. Let's just calm down, switch off the fight or flight. Let's move into relaxation mode, you know, and send out some lovely hormones, serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, send out these lovely endorphins. So with rhythmic breathing, I'm going to breathe in for 4 and then breathe out for 6, but you can choose the pattern you like. As long as that out breath is longer than the in breath, that's fine. Yeah, so literally I'm just going to be breathing in for 4 and then out for 6. Breathe in for 4 and out for 6. And you just continue like that. It really calms you down. That longer breath out, your whole body starts to expand out a little bit. Again, because you're counting, you're distracting yourself from your thoughts, getting out of your head. You're just getting out of, you know, into the atmosphere around you, and you're just counting. So there's nothing there to kind of latch hold of or kind of distract you in a negative way. It's super simple, but really effective. And as I said, it's sending the right signals to the brain that, oh my gosh, she's calm now, she's okay. Let's just switch off this fight or flight. She's feeling more relaxed. Everything starts to expand, yeah, as everything returns to the center of your body again. The energy returns to the center of your body. So that's the rhythmic breathing. So that's breathing exercise number 2. The third breathing exercise I have for you is to pause between breaths. So this is you breathing naturally. We're not necessarily counting, but we're just breathing naturally, but we're pausing and waiting for the breath to want to be drawn in again. We're pausing and we're waiting for the breath to want to expel. Yeah, so you're just breathing in. And when you naturally feel you want to breathe out, you're breathing out, and at the bottom of that breath out, you're just waiting again until you're ready to draw that breath in. Now this may not be as popular as the others because there's no counting. So, you know, people may still be caught up in their thoughts, but it's still a nice one to try because it's like you're taking control again. You're sort of saying, look, I know I can breathe in whenever I want. I can breathe out whenever I want. So it's a really nice kind of breath technique to relax you again, get you into a bit of a rhythm, but you're more listening to your body. So I guess in a way you are coming out of your head and you're listening to your body, to when your body wants to breathe in and when it wants to breathe out, knowing that you've got complete control. So give that one a try and see what you think. The final one is, again, we're going back to counting, but what we're doing with this is we're counting, when we breathe out and we breathe in, that's one breath. We breathe out, we breathe in, that's the second breath. So again, you're counting, and every time you find yourself lost in thought, this is a bit of a mindful meditation style way of breathing. But whenever you find yourself lost in thought again, you start again from 1. So it becomes a bit of a game, but it's again focusing you on numbers, so you can just kind of get yourself out of the head, relax, focus on the numbers, focus on the counting, something which is pretty neutral. Counting is very neutral. And then if you find yourself lost again in thought, you start again at 1. So that's just simply me. I'll just show you just breathing in my normal way, breathing out in my normal way. That's 1 breath. That's 2 breaths. Yeah, so I'll just carry on like that, just counting each pair of breaths, you could say. And then that should relax you as well. So they're my 4 breath techniques. I've got 3 more things to share, quite simple things to do. And the first one of those is to actually set an anchor. And this is quite it's quite a common coaching tool to do, really. It's also common in NLP. And what you're doing is anytime you're what would happen, I should say, is anytime you feel anxiety, where you set an anchor, which I'll tell you how to do in a minute, you can trigger that anchor, which in turn should trigger an associated emotion. So in order to set your anchor, you need to take some time, maybe allow, 3 days or so, where for 5 minutes, you're actually thinking about something that makes you feel really good. So it might be the emotion of love or joy or appreciation. It might be a place you've been to or someone you're thinking of or a situation or memory that just makes you feel really good. And when you're at the peak of that emotion, you want to set your anchor. And you set your anchor by you hit the peak of the emotion, you press or touch something on your body that you wouldn't normally touch. So you might pinch your ear, you might squeeze the fleshy bit between your thumb and forefinger, you might snap your fingers if that's something you don't normally do. So there's going to be an association subconsciously between that action, that trigger, and the actual emotion. So once you've set that, and as I said, it just takes like 5 minutes for a few days to kind of set your anchor. Then when you're feeling some anxiety coming on, you're starting to feel a little bit tight in your chest or whatever, you just trigger that thing. So you snap your finger or you'll pinch your ear or pinch that fleshy bit. And because that's associated with that heightened emotion, that elevated emotion, it will automatically bring that emotion on. So you snap your finger and suddenly you'll feel more joyful, happier, better. So it works really well. It sounds really simplistic, but it does actually work. So that's something that's really easy to do, yet powerful at just being able to shift you at your own command. The other thing I've got is a mindful way of being, really. So with this technique, you're going to start by slowing down your breathing. First of all, you don't have to breathe in a particular way. You're just slowing your breathing down. You're going to place one hand on your heart, one on your solar plexus, which is the top of your tummy. You can't quite see it on the video, but just kind of above your belly button. That's your solar plexus. You're placing your hands here and here. And you're just going to, with your eyes open, just kind of look around the room. Your breath is slowed down. You're just getting really mindful about what you're seeing. So there's no judgment about what you're seeing. You're just not explaining anything. You're not judging anything. You're just observing. You're just looking around you, seeing what you can see. You don't have to move your head, but you're just taking in everything that you can see. So you're taking yourself out of your head and the chattery thoughts and the anxiety and going out. You're expanding your energy outwards, your view outwards, which in itself is quite calming. You're starting to have something else to focus on other than your thoughts. So that's kind of what you're doing there, and just relaxing a little bit. It also helps if you're able to engage your peripheral vision. So if you're able to see without turning your eyes or your head to the left or right, you just start to take in what's going on at the side of you, of your body. That's your peripheral vision. And what that does is it calms you down, because when we're stressed, we go into this narrow focus. We're not seeing the peripheral, we're not seeing anything outside of this thing we're focused on in there's a really kind of strong way. So when we start to soften that focus and widen our view, become more peripheral, more panoramic, I guess, then that sends a signal to the brain that, you know what, she must be relaxed, he must be relaxed now, must be calm now, because we're suddenly taking in everything that's going on visually. So it will calm you down pretty quickly. So that's the second thing to share with you, just kind of becoming more mindful, connecting with your heart and the solar plexus, slowing down the breathing, seeing what you can see around you, taking it in, not judging it, not giving it a meaning, nothing. You're just getting yourself out of your head, and then you're starting to engage your peripheral vision as well. The final thing is meditation. Which is good anyway if you're to prevent and build your resilience to anxiety. To meditate daily, it does help with that. But in the moment, you can go into a meditation if you can. So the one I like is the Calm Anxiety meditation. I'll put the link to that in the description. But what that allows you to do is take the thing you're worried about or anxious about, put it in a box, put the lid on, push it to one side, and start to become really conscious of the space you now have around you as you're slowing down your breathing. So it's a nice meditation. I don't think it's very long. It's about 9-10 minutes long, so quick to do. But that's something that you can do sort of when you're starting to feel anxious in the moment. You can actually do that meditation. So yeah, they're my 3 things for today. And as I said, it's the last video, so I hope you've enjoyed or learned something really from the free videos and tried something. If you have, please let me know in comments what you've tried, what works for you. You might have something else that works for you that isn't something I've talked about, but it's your thing that you go to. So definitely share that so we can all sort of learn from it as well. So until next time, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again. If you have any questions, you can connect with me. Feel free to go to the website, myspiritualbutterfly.com as well, for some more sort of free tools and ideas. But I will see you soon. Namaste. Thank you.